30-minute meals is all about fast food, and with some clever cooking, you can cook it all from scratch. This one is one of my wife's favourites, and you know what? I think it could be one of yours too. So I'm going to make the most beautiful, speedy penne ragu. Sweet tomatoes, chilli, basil, balsamic, pork, fennel seeds. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to serve that with a crunchy salad of watercress, chicory, rocket, shaved parmesan and a lemon juice dressing. And then for dessert, I've got a beautiful almond and raspberry jam tart with wedges of orange and creme fraiche. Beautiful. All of that in half an hour. OK, lovely people, so if you want that beautiful meal in under half an hour, you've got to pull your finger out and get your 30-minute meals head on. So we need our food processor. We need our pot for our pasta sauce. I need my board with a wet cloth underneath so it doesn't move, salt, pepper, condiments, knives. I've got an oven at 190, just put on regular oven, and I definitely need a full kettle of water on the boil. Boring stuff done, let's start cooking. First job up, pasta sauce. OK, so look, first of all, vegetables. Let's get some nice fragrance going. Just get yourself 2 or 3 carrots, 3, 4, maybe 5 spring onions, depending on how big they are. And I've got couple of sticks of celery. Just click those off. Keeps running away from me, you don't want to be cooked. Get yourself a little knife. Now, what I want to do is just take the ends off of this carrot. I'm not going to bother peeling them because there's no need. I'm just going to wash them. So ends off there. With the spring onions, of course, they don't hardly need any cooking at all. They're already sweet and lovely. So sometimes they need just peeling back like that, which is fine. Just peel them back. Ends off. So I've got 3 carrots, 3 or 4 spring onions, 2 or 3 sticks of celery. Just take the ends off. And if they look a bit ropey, you can sort of cut bits out. I mean, listen, this recipe came about from my wife, you know, 11:45 on a Saturday. Darling, what do you want? She's pregnant. You know, I'll cook you anything you like. I'd like a kind of ragu, like a, you know, bolognese type sort of pasta sauce. The thing about those ragus are they take hours and hours of blipping away, getting tender and beautiful. So they're a real slow cooking dish. And my wife's pregnant going, well, that's what I want. So I'm saying, well, when do you want this ragu, darling? She's like, well, about 20 minutes. And I'm like, are you serious? So I had to develop this recipe to be quick and tasty and be as near as damn it to a really good pork ragu. Here we go. Right, so giving it a good wash, I'm going to go straight into a food processor. Yeah. Right, in there as well, I'm going to put 1 whole red chilli, OK, because we want that subtle sort of heat going on. So wazz that up. So there you go, look, that's what these processors are absolutely great at doing. I mean, you know, that's about 6 minutes of chopping there alone, and we're going to put it straight into a pan. That pan's already been on the heat for a little sec, so that's already getting hot. About 2-3 tablespoons of olive oil in there. So we've got our fragrant veg straight in. Get those going off. They'll start frying. That's the base of the ragu. So I've got the veg in here, carrots, celery, chilli, spring onions. I want to get meat in there ASAP. So I've got 1 pack of really good quality sausages. You can get them from your butcher's or your supermarket. You know, you can get great sausages these days. I'm just going to turn it on. And, you know, if you buy a cheap sausage, this is not going to be nice. Get yourself a good sausage. Happy days. Wazz that up. Skin and all. Now, you know, by investing in a really good sausage, you can immediately get a really good ragu going, no mucking about. I want to get some extra flavour in there. So there's 2 things that I want to give me absolute pimpage going on, like killer flavour, right? Fennel seeds and pork are like just 2 peas in a pod. A heaped teaspoon of whole fennel seeds go in. And then oregano, dried oregano, right? I mean, dried oregano is better than fresh oregano in my mind. About a teaspoon heaped of that. Wazz that up. Take it off. and the meat goes straight in here like that. There's your pork. And as I said, if you invest in a good sausage, you'll be in a good place. You want to look for a sausage with about 85% meat at least in it, so you know it's good quality. But this is such a great cheat. You know, that is classic 30-minute meals. How can you make great, fresh food that tastes delicious quick? You know, you've got to use all the resource that you've got and, you know, and not compromise. So that's why searching out those good sausages is really good. So look, I'm happy with that. That can crank on now. That's on full whack. Happy days. So for dessert, I'm going to do an absolute classic. Little baby almond tarts with frangipane, which is like a kind of smashed up almond kind of sponge. Beautiful, with some lovely seasonal jam. Really good. An absolute winner every time. There's a couple of little cheats in there, though. So, first of all, one of the cheats is I've got these lovely little pastry cases, which have already been cooked off, OK? So, I've got my 6 pastry cases here. Just going to put those into a little mould there and just put them aside for 1 second. You can buy them in supermarkets. These ones have got free-range eggs, so they're good quality. How can I make that frangipane filling effortlessly? Well, you know what? I've got a great recipe that will fill those, and it works every single time. Get yourself a bowl. So I want slightly less than a half pack of butter. That'll be 100 grams, goes in like that. Then I need 100 grams of sugar, about this much. About 4 semi-heaped tablespoons of sugar. You can buy packs of ground almonds. They've done it all for you already. Just get that in there. They're already 100 grams, so this is a really easy recipe that's in stuff you can just buy quick. I need 1 egg, 100, 100, 100, 1 egg. All right, so it's such an easy recipe to remember. Anyone can do this. A little pinch of salt, just because we're working with almond flour, seasoning and stuff like that. And then I want to flavour it with some vanilla. So I want a teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is that lovely vanilla paste that you can get, but you could use vanilla extract. Not the essence, though, because that's not real. There we go. So we've got the vanilla going in there. I'm going to get 1 orange, and get yourself one of these lovely little zesters. I want the zest of half an orange. Just the zest from half an orange will put an accent on that frangipane that you just wouldn't believe. You know, it doesn't sort of add up when you sort of taste it. Get yourself a spoon and have a little mix up. One egg, 100 grams of almond ground flour, 100 grams of sugar, 100 grams of butter, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and half the zest of an orange. Anyone can remember that, easy peasy. Mix it up and you're laughing. Then we go get some nice jam of any description. Plum jam, raspberry jam, strawberry jam, apricot jam. Mix it up, I don't care, jam. Whatever you want. I'm having a little stir of my ragu here. Classic 30-minute meals, doing 2 things at once. Multitasking. And while we're here, actually, let's just fill this pan for the pasta up with some water. It's quite handy using the kettle, though. You know, use the kettle to boil your water. OK, I want you to get a little teaspoon of jam, like that. A little teaspoon in each. It takes literally 10 seconds. Don't hang about and be sociable. Just get it in there. Then you get a little teaspoon of filling, teaspoon of filling, teaspoon of filling. Real idiot-proof cooking. And you know what? In the week, your only cheat is buying a pre-done tart shell. Oh, no. You know, you've made the filling. You know, you can even make the jam if it's something from summer. So I could just chuck the jam in and chuck the frangipane on top, OK? And it would work. But from an aesthetic point of view, like drawing you in, you know, and the guests in and everything, you want the jam to blip in and around like the beautiful frangipane. So that's why I'm doing it twice. So jam, again, over the top. And you're almost like marbling it. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. It just makes it look like heaven, absolute heaven, like that. And then you go back to your frangipane and put slightly larger amount in. So there you go, 6 beautiful jam and frangipane tarts straight in the oven for exactly 18 minutes at 180, 190. And they are going to look absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. So I've only been cooking for 10 minutes and the desserts are already in the oven. The sausage for my ragu smells absolutely delicious, but I need to finish the pasta sauce and make a refreshing salad. So today I'm making my wife's favourite pasta meal in well under 30 minutes. My jam and frangipane puddings for dessert are in the oven, and the sausage for the ragu smells great. And now it's time to turn it into something heavenly. Look here, we've got lovely caramelisation happening. We've got the fennel seeds crisping up. You've got the pork that's all separated. You know, you've got, if you taste it now, you've already got an incredible sort of veg and pork hash. Oh, that is delicious already. What I want to do now is turn this into a ragu, into a sauce. So I'm going to get my tomatoes here. Tin tomatoes are really good. They're picked at their best, you know, tinned and produced at their best. There we go. It's looking really good. I want to push those flavours. I want it to be intense and surprise people, OK? We're going 4 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. That's going to give it an acidic edge that cooks away to be a sweet, sweet, robust flavour. I'm going to go a little bit of garlic, a couple of cloves of garlic. Get yourself a garlic crusher. Put 2 or 3 in here. Straight in. 1/3 for luck. No peeling required. Nice and easy. So that garlic is giving it a hum. I can smell it already. It's going to turn it to be dark. So the balsamic's going to act almost like old-fashioned gravy browning, because that's what it was. It was caramel. And that balsamic vinegar's got, you know, when you cook it down, the sort of harshness of the vinegar, which I'm breathing in at the moment and trying not to cough, is cooking away, filling the room with beautiful flavour. And it's going sweet. So look at that. What a transformation. The garlic is just thumped in there. And then when it's gone back to frying again, which you can hear, now we're going to go in with the tomatoes. And then I'll fill this tin up with water, and that can go in too. And these tomatoes just chop up. So chop those lovely tomatoes up. I'm going to let this just stew away. So while I get on with other jobs, you know, very quickly we've created an amazing ragu. It's a bit watery at the moment, but it's still on full whack. There's not a single bit of simmering or slow cooking or blipping away happening. We're cruising on this one, and it's going fast. So it's a bit wet now, but in a couple of minutes, it'll be thick again, and then we'll finish it. Gonna get my pasta out. That's going straight into the boiling water. Season, very importantly, season your water with salt, OK? Everyone gets, oh, it's like a teaspoon of salt or whatever, oh, no salt, so you're not going to eat that salt. It's just, you need to season the pasta in that environment. Most of that salt's going down the drain, OK? But if you don't season your pasta, it's going to taste like thin air, and you'll have to work so hard on seasoning the sauce, and you will be eating all that. So, lid on, that'll boil over in a minute. Let's get that up to the boil, and then we'll keep an eye on that. If we have a look here, if you have a look in here now, this is cooking up a treat. The actual cakes are starting to sort of cook in and around the jam, and it's starting to puff up as well, and that's what you want in a good old cake. The next job I'm going to do, the final job I'm going to do, is a beautiful salad. I'm going to do a salad of chicory, watercress, rocket. I'm going to dress it up with a simple oil and lemon dressing, and it's absolutely gorgeous. This is possibly a salad that you haven't seen before. It's red chicory. You can pretty much get it everywhere in supermarkets. It's crunchy, it's fresh, it's got a slight bitterness to it, but there's also a sweetness as well, if that doesn't sound too contradictory. What I'm going to do is just take the bare end off here and get rid of that, so it's all nice and fresh. If there's any sort of tatty outside leaves, just click them off and you can lose them. And then all I'm going to do is just slice up the stalk about 2 inches up, so you've got the nice slice bits there. Then you should, in theory, be able to click off these lovely little cups of salad, and then when they start sticking together again, you can just slice up the stalk, and then you just take these lovely little leaves apart again. Then just simply lay these beautiful leaves, you know, celebrate the stalks as well. They're all good, the stalks, nothing wrong with that. And then I've got a bag of mixed watercress and spinach, just plonk that smack bang in the middle. It's nice, they've got some little purple watercress in there as well, which is good, different variety. You know, this is I think, a very simple and elegant salad. What I'm going to do is get it ready here now and just serve olive oil at the table and put a few, you know, lemon wedges on the side and just let people dress it themselves. I'll put a little bit of salt on now, that won't hurt anything, in and around. A little half wedge of lemon can sit there on the side. Get yourself a piece of nice Parmesan, get yourself a speed peeler, and just do long, kind of confident, elegant sort of shavings there. And look, it's such a simple salad. But when you kind of got ragus and sort of quite robust flavours like that, I think it's really, really nice to do something refreshing and crunchy. You can do some lovely little shaves. So there you go. A really beautiful, simple salad of chicory, watercress, rocket, the shaved Parmesan. I'm just going to put the lemon on the side. I've sprinkled it with salt, and I'm going to serve this at the table. We'll dress it at the very last minute, but that's very happy to sort of sit there waiting for us. So the salad's ready and waiting. The jam and frangipane pastries are looking fantastic. The sausage ragu smells absolutely delicious, and the pasta's boiling away. Right, check your pasta. Go, that's cooked. Still got shape. It's, you know, it's a pleasure to eat, but it's not soft and falling apart. So we're going to get our pasta. First things first, though. Just get yourself a mug of water, right? And I want to keep that water there, OK? Let's drain this pasta. Like that. Right. Here we go. So we're going to go in with the pasta. The reason I've kept some of this water is because that starchy water is going to help that ragu really sit nicely around that pasta like that. If you're any good at tossing, you know, this is kind of... I've turned the heat off now, you don't need any more heat. Just get your pan. You just give it a good old toss like that. And it just helps the perfect sort of amount of sauce go over the pasta like that. With pasta, there's always a sense of urgency to serve it. If you, like, have it sitting around for 5 minutes, it's going to suck all that juice up. It'll go like a big, giant wine gum. You can feed it with little bits of extra starchy water to loosen it up, to have that elegance. You know, Italian pasta isn't stodgy. You know, when you put a fork in Italian pasta, the whole lot doesn't come up. That's what happens in England, because we drain it for half an hour, and then we put, like, 10 gallons of sauce over it, OK? So you want it loose, and you want it elegant, and you want it lovely like that. You can put a tiny bit of Parmesan in it to season, but to be honest, what I'm going to do is serve this Parmesan and the grater sort of at the table, like this. And then what I want to do is just season this with a fresh herb now. So I'm using this Greek basil here, which you can get from the supermarkets. I call it globe basil, but it says Greek basil on the packet when you get it. And look at that. Really beautiful, delicate little basils. And we just do a final little tossing action. And that, of course, that fresh basil doesn't want to be cooked. You know, it's fresh. It needs to be just thrown in at the very last minute. Look at that. That is heavenly. And then what's really nice is taking a big old platter, which I recommend everyone should have, and then just shake that onto a beautiful big platter. This will serve like 8 people. And the leftovers, don't worry about that. Let it go cold, crack a few eggs into it, a bit more cheese, and do the most incredible pasta bake. Then I'm gonna go back to this lovely Greek basil again and take a little handful. And then this is garnish, but also we'll stir it in at the last minute. From a height, our lovely global Greek basil goes on top. So there you go, guys. Jools' favourite pasta. Absolutely gorgeous. Serving that straight at the table. Let's get these incredible frangipanes. Look at that, just blipping away. They're looking good. Look, just bubbling away. That is a hell of a dessert. Bit of creme fraiche on a board. Let's get these lovely hot pastries, ouch, on here like that. Having nice wooden chopping boards just makes everything look so lovely. I've used that orange zest inside, so I'm just going to cut orange wedges here, and they're quite nice just to have a little bit of that on the side like that. Who doesn't like a little, you know, break at football wedge of orange? There you go. Beautiful. What a wonderful dessert. You'd never think you'd do that in under half an hour. Absolutely fantastic. Raspberry jam, frangipane and almond tart. Beautiful. Really good. So, serve that up. All looking good. So you've got that lovely Ragu pasta, Jools' favourite pregnant pasta, the crunchy lemony salad with all those different leaves and the shaved parmesan, and the beautiful dessert. Excellent. All of that in under half an hour. Brilliant.